Welcome to Honeybee, real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name's Jerry, and for 8 years I worked in construction, working my way up from a general laborer to site supervisor by the time I turned 29. I had a steady paycheck, a dependable personality, and, apparently, those traits made me appealing as a partner. That's how I met Becca at a mutual friend's backyard barbecue several years back. Becca worked for a mid-sized advertising agency downtown, earning a good salary that supported her busy social life and frequent getaways. We dated for 2.5 years, and things moved along at a steady pace. I admired her outgoing nature and wide social circle, while she seemed to appreciate my grounded, practical approach to life. After about 14 months together, we moved into a 2-bedroom place in the suburbs, splitting rent down the middle. In July 2024, I proposed during a weekend trip, presenting a $4,500 diamond ring I'd saved months to afford. Wedding planning started immediately. We reserved Oakwood Country Club for the big day, putting down a $3,000 non-refundable deposit. The venue could hold our 127 guests, family, co-workers, and Becca's extensive list of friends. We also booked vendors, a photographer for $2,800, catering for $6,200, and a wedding band for $1,600. By the time we were done, wedding expenses topped $18,000. Looking back, I realized there were patterns in our relationship that I ignored for too long. Becca almost never adjusted her plans for my needs. At the time, I chalked it up to her independence and sociability, traits I once found charming. But friends and family occasionally commented that things felt one-sided. We kept separate bank accounts, splitting household costs evenly. I paid $1,200 each month toward rent, utilities, and groceries, while also building my personal savings. Becca contributed the same toward shared bills, but spent heavily on nights out, clothes, and trips with friends. Our financial habits were worlds apart, though we did have a joint savings account with $8,200, meant for the wedding in a future house. 3 months before the accident, Becca booked a girls' weekend in Las Vegas with her sorority friends. The trip, planned for over a year, was a bachelorette party for a friend named Linda. The $1,200 package covered flights, 3 nights in a luxury strip resort, and various activities. She paid in full on her credit card and told me the deposit couldn't be refunded. The job site where I work was part of a major downtown commercial development, slated for completion in 14 months. Our 12-story office building required heavy foundation work, using machines like excavators, bulldozers, and concrete pumps. I was certified to operate several, and split my time between supervising and hands-on work. 2 days before Becca's trip, on a Tuesday morning, I arrived at 6:30 a.m. for the crew's daily safety meeting. The weather was perfect, clear skies, mid-50s. My task for the day was operating a Caterpillar 320 excavator in the northeast corner, where we were digging trenches for utility lines. Around 2:30 p.m., while maneuvering near exposed foundation, a hydraulic hose in the boom suddenly burst. The loss of fluid caused the boom to drop fast and unexpectedly. I tried to jump clear, but my left leg got trapped between the boom and the track frame. The crushing force shattered my tibia instantly. A veteran co-worker saw what happened and called 911 right away. Others secured the area and kept me still. Paramedics arrived within 8 minutes, followed by firefighters with hydraulic tools to free me. EMTs splintered my leg, gave me pain meds, and got me to the nearest hospital with orthopedic specialists. I stayed conscious on the ambulance ride, though the pain was intense. At the ER, X-ray showed a displaced tibia fracture needing surgery with internal fixation. The operation was scheduled for Thursday morning at 7 a.m. At 3:45 p.m., I called Becca to explain everything. I also phoned my brother Dean in Sacramento, who promised to drive down the next day. My boss was notified for workers' comp purposes, and my mom, living out of state, was told in case complications arose. Becca came to the hospital about an hour later. I laid out the situation, the surgery, and recovery time. She seemed concerned until she said she had to leave to get things ready for her trip. I was stunned she still planned on going. I stayed quiet, hoping she'd reconsider, but she left. That night, I texted asking her to cancel and be there for the surgery to help with family and employer communication. By Wednesday morning, no reply. Pre-op blood work and x-rays were done, but my anxiety grew, not just about surgery, but about her silence. Her eventual message made it clear Vegas mattered more than my surgery. The fact that her travel package was non-refundable outweighed any sense of obligation to be there. At 11:33 a.m., I sent back just 2 words, my mistake. Thursday's surgery went smoothly. Dr. Williams installed a titanium rod and locking screws over 2.5 hours. Dean stayed through the night and was there for the doctor's update. Recovery would mean 3 to 4 days in the hospital, then weeks of limited weight-bearing. That evening, my co-workers visited, bringing flowers and news from the site. Their concern contrasted sharply with Becca's absence. My mom called twice daily from Phoenix, reminding me she had doubts about Becca long before this. Friday was Becca's big Vegas kickoff, her Instagram and Facebook filled with poolside cabana shots, steakhouse dinners, nightclubs, and spa days. Not one mention of me. Meanwhile, I started physical therapy Saturday morning and managed the pain with meds, though side effects lingered. Dean stayed most of the day, coordinating visits. Sunday night, Becca tried calling several times, but I ignored them. Monday she kept calling, leaving voicemails I didn't open. That night at 9:45 p.m., I blocked her number. Tuesday, she showed up at the hospital unannounced, demanding to see me. But I removed her from my emergency contacts and told the staff not to allow her in. She got loud, drew attention, and had to be escorted out by security. Staff later told me they agreed with my decision. That night, her mother called, upset that Becca was denied entry. She insisted I owed Becca an apology for embarrassing her. I hung up mid-sentence and blocked her, along with the rest of Becca's family. By Wednesday morning, I began canceling the wedding from my hospital bed. The venue kept a $3,000 deposit. The photographer refunded $1,000 of his $1,400 deposit. The caterer refunded $5,700. The band kept their $800 deposit. The florist refunded $200. I emailed all 127 guests with a short, factual message. Reactions varied. Family wanted details. Co-workers checked on my health, and some of Becca's friends expressed surprise. I didn't explain the specifics to anyone. Legally, the $4,500 engagement ring stayed with Becca since I ended things. I withdrew my share of the joint savings, $4,700 plus interest, and left her the rest. Our lease buyout cost $3,100, and Dean helped clear my things. Within a week, every shared financial tie was resolved. My leg was healing well. I lined up outpatient therapy and began apartment hunting, ground floor units only, for mobility reasons. I told co-workers not to share any updates if Becca contacted them. By discharge day, I was clear on one thing. My accident had spared me from marrying the wrong person. The lost deposits were nothing compared to the cost of divorce. Her Vegas trip had been the most revealing thing she ever did. No excuses, no illusions, just the truth about her priorities.